By your story, by the way.
Oh, you like it?
Yes. All right. So, Jalas, shall I give it the theme again?
No, you have given me that theme so many times.
Just in case.
A story a day.
You know, this puts me in the mood, sort of thing. When I hear a story a day, puts me in the mood. So, I'm going to take you to Niger. And the reason I'm doing this, Jalas, is because Niger has been in the news lately.
But before you go on, I remember the name of that place I was telling you.
Antananarivo.
Antananarivo.
Yes,
Where is that?
Capital Madagascar.
Oh, Madagascar.
Madagascar is
Antananarivo.
Antananarivo. You're right. It's in the south.
Yeah.
You've been there?
Yes, I've been to Madagascar. In Antananarivo. Amazing place. Give me the story of Niger.
Niger.
Niger. So there's Nigeria and there's Niger.
Correct.
Two different countries.
Correct. A lot of people call it Niger. It is not Niger. It is Niger. And by the way, it is the largest country in West Africa.
Okay.
Niger. Larger than Nigeria.
Oh.
Larger than Mali.
Ooh.
Niger. And you know why? What brings it to mind is because it's been in the news lately for all the wrong reasons. 4 U.S. soldiers, army men, were killed just last week. 4 of them. Right? By so-called Al-Shabaab, allegedly. They had, and as the story was unfolding, the Americans, and they didn't know this, they realized there were more than 1,000 U.S. troops in Niger. A place called Agadez, stationed there. Nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody knows what their mission is. Congress had approved this mission, but yet nobody knows what they're doing. And yet last week, 4 of them got shot and killed in the desert. And it brings me back to the first time I went to Niger was in 1998 with Reuters, right? There's this famous designer from Niger, based in Paris and Ivory Coast, but he's from Niger. His name is Al-Fadi. You know that black shirt I wore the other day and you were telling me, the linen one, when you're telling me it's from Dementio, or you're saying I was going for a musical concert. Do you remember? That is an Al-Fadi shirt. I'll show you a picture just now. Al-Fadi, famous designer, originally from Niger. So he started this festival out in the desert in a place called Tigidit, right? and by the way, when you land in Niger, you land in the capital, Niamey, beautiful place, nice, dusty, hot, dry, but nice. And then you have to get on the road and drive. Check this out, drive 10 hours. Beautiful, fine, wonderful roads built by the French. You drive for 10 hours and in the desert, deep in the desert, and along the way you see factories, because Niger is very famous for its uranium. So you have French factories, you have American factories mining uranium. Right? So you're driving 10 hours. Beautiful road, dry country, camels on the way. And of course, there's a famous tribe in Niger called the Wodaabe. Look it up. Wodaabe.
The Wodaabe.
Wodaabe are like the most beautiful tribe you've ever seen on the continent. But it is the men who are the beautiful ones. In other words, they make themselves attractive for the women. They are called the wodaabe. Amazing. They put makeup on themselves, all kinds of stuff. They put eyelash, eye makeup, all that stuff. They color their eyes, they color their faces to look beautiful to attract the women. Wodaabe. Incredible. I mean, anywhere else is the other way around.
What?
In Niger, it's the men making themselves up to look beautiful for the women.
Is that where you took this makeup thing from?
No, makeup is television, just. No, stop hijacking the story.
All right, I'm just asking. You could have been a wodaabe.
Kenjiro,
Ungwana.
Clearly, he's not listening to
the show.
Yeah.
Isi Ungwana, Ken.
Isi Ungwana. Anyway, So we're driving to Agadez, 10 hours
To the festival.
to the festival. We get to Agadez 10 hours later. And guess what? There's still another maybe 2 hours to drive because the festival was deeper into the desert, a place called Tigidit.
Tigidit, yeah.
Tigidit. From Agadez to Tigidit is about another 2 hours. So we're in the desert. It's hot. It's dry. We're there in the setup, tents, beautiful runway. This Al-Fadi guy has put up a runway in the desert. And then he brought in models from Europe. You know this designer called Kenzo? Famous designer, Kenzo, Japanese guy.
I don't know any designer.
But you're wearing Louis Vuitton today, huh? Okay, sour. Anyway, Louis Vuitton shoes. Kenzo flies in. Now they charter, but obviously because they can't drive the 10 hours, charter in with a whole bunch of models from Europe. And they are going to now wear Al-Fadi's clothes for this festival. One charter lands. There's a dry strip of land, Maram, not like the one we're building for 37 billion here, JKIA. Small piece of Maram. Planes start landing. Models, actors, producers, all kinds of people from Europe. They've all come for this festival in the desert. The most unlikely place. They just land there. Tents are set up, accommodation, catering, everything, toilets, everything in the middle of the desert. It's like we had woken up and we were in a different world. Because what we had driven for 10 hours was nothing like this. It was camels and tribesmen and little shacks along the way where we get to Tigidit. And it's like, whoo, it's opened up. And the day of the festival, now it wasn't just obviously the people from Europe. Now they had invited locals to come and,
and just see.
And be a part. And these wodabes all arrive. And the models are looking at these men. They're saying, Allah, I thought we're the ones who are supposed to be models. These people look more beautiful than we do. It was incredible, man. Yeah. And these guys were in the audience and the models were doing their stuff on the runway. And it was just a strange but incredible mix of cultures and civilizations.
Wow.
Amazing. These guys were wodabes. Their camels were just seated on the edge of the runway in the desert. They were further closer to the stage, to the runway. The models going up and down, modeling, and Al-Fadi displaying his designer wear for men and women. It was incredible. I'd never seen anything like that.
Wow.
Niger, the middle of nowhere, West Africa's largest country. And they're there displaying, and models have flown in with their designers and famous names from Europe and Asia. Unbelievable stuff. That was my first introduction to Niger and that part of West Africa.
Wow.
Incredible. And we filmed it and we interviewed these guys and we had a great time. We partied into the night. Oh, by the way, on top of that, vodka, the drink vodka, one of the sponsors had flown in a giant, like a 20-meter bottle of vodka.
Hey.
Made of ice.
What?
Made of ice. They flew it in and they put it right there in the desert with their name obviously advertising it, right? But because the days were so hot, like 50 degrees, this thing would be melting just slowly melting in the heat. And then in the night it must have lasted like 2-3 days. This giant is like an iceberg of vodka in the shape of a vodka bottle in the middle of this event in the desert.
Niger.
Incredible. I just realized, Africa is so rich with history and stories and culture and civilizations. Incredible place.
Wow.
Tigidit, Niger, not far from Agadez, land of the wodaabe.
The beautiful men.
And that is what we call
a story
a day.
It's the Hot Breakfast with Jeff and Jelano.